often called one of the freest places for journalism in Asia. But many reporters here say the pressure is growing, not from outright censorship, but from political polarization, online harassment, shrinking newsrooms, and the constant battle for clicks and attention. At the same time, across the region, independent journalism is disappearing.
Now signing off.
From Hong Kong and China to parts of Southeast Asia. So can Taiwan resist the global decline in press freedom? Or are the warning signs already here? Now, here to answer that question are two Taiwanese journalists with international experience. Chris Lee is a reporter at Domino Theory, where he covers Taiwan-China relations, tech policy, and regional security. And Stacy Xu is an assignment editor here at Taiwan Plus. She spent 5 years in Washington, D.C., covering U.S.-China-Taiwan relations for Radio Free Asia and Taiwan's central news agency. Thank you both for joining me. It's good to be here. Taiwan is considered one of the freest media environments in Asia, but we saw in the most recent index from Reporters Without Borders about world press freedom that Taiwan dropped 4 spots in the rankings. Should we be worried, Chris?
Even though it was a drop, I think we shouldn't be panicking, because Taiwan still has a large room for media freedom. People still enjoy freedom of speech and whatnot. So yeah, it's sad that we slipped a few places, but it's not like the end of the world.
What do you think is the biggest pressure or the hardest thing for reporters here in Taiwan?
Take a step back to talk about this. I think it's that there are too many media outlets in Taiwan. Even though Taiwan is an important place, it's a Mandarin-speaking democracy, has a lot of room for many things to have a conversation, but there's too many media outlets, and people are often trying to compete with headlines. But it's the media industry. We understand everyone only has a few split seconds these days to grab information. So everyone is really in that tough competition to grab, to show a very eye-catchy headlines or that catchy quote to grab somebody's attention.
What do you think is the biggest pressure for journalists in Taiwan?
If you talk to any reporter in Taiwan this day, you could hear them talking about KPI. That's the thing that the company care about the most. What that means is they care about the clicks that each news article get. But like Chris mentioned, we're now competing with people consuming their news on social media, which tend to be faster and then more like clickbaits. And then so when you're kind of competing with that, that means that journalists have to be fast, may not have the time to fact check properly. That to me is the most difficult thing I think reporters are facing in Taiwan.
Now, if you look at Taiwan's media, there's a wide spectrum of different types of media representing different political perspectives. Some people have said that the wide polarization of media is actually what's making things difficult in terms of consumers or viewers or readers trusting what they see in the media. Do you think that there's a problem with trust?
It's not just a Taiwan problem. I think it's obviously a global issue. Like certain media outlets have a certain political angle, or they have a closer tie to a certain political party per se. And not just that, actually, to kind of piggyback on what Stacy was talking about, social media, people are also trusting more from content produced by social media personalities. They go to that particular person to consume information. They will probably use a content produced by a news outlet for the background, and then they go to that particular person to understand the deeper context.
What do you see as being the way that reporters or media organizations can win back the trust that they've lost with viewers?
As public media here, I feel like trying to be just presenting the facts, trying to be as neutral as you can, and also prioritizing accuracy over speed when you can, when your manager allows it. I think that's a key factor in this.
I think for us at Domino Theory, because it was such a small news team, and to compete with the big guys is really hard. So just like what Stacy was saying, quality over quantity is a big thing to continuously work on, because it's, if you don't have the accuracy and information, then why are you still producing messages?
Now, both of you have international reporting experience. Chris, you worked in New York City as a reporter. Stacy, you spent time in Washington, D.C. as a reporter. Can you compare and contrast the situation in the United States and Taiwan?
I actually see more similarity in both capitals. First, I feel like America being a democracy, Taiwan being a democracy, and then we're still pretty high on those kind of index, relatively speaking. And then so when I was first started in DC, you have easy access, you have transparency, meaning it's easy for reporters to find data. Even for some closed-door Congress session, they will still invite one reporter as the pool to kind of provide details of what happened behind those closed doors. So to me, that's still transparency, and that's important to journalists as well. And then the same goes in Taiwan. Even if you're like foreign journalist starting your career in Taiwan, you'll be able to have easy access to data, information, politician, and then not a huge issue. But another similarity that I see, going back to what we already discussed, is I see growing polarization of media outlets in both the States and Taiwan. And to an extent that I feel like people nowadays, when they're listening to the news, they're just parroting what they're seeing. And then that kind of worries me, because that might mean that they're kind of losing their ability to critical thinking, which I think is very vital to combating fake information.
So what about mainland China? The issue of freedom of speech in mainland China is often associated with internet censorship, government regulation of the media, and the restriction of discussing certain political and social topic. While these measures are sometimes justified as maintaining social stability, they may limit access to information and the expression of diverse opinion. Possible solutions include gradually expanding public participation in policy discussions, strengthening legal protection for free expression, increasing government transparency, and encouraging responsible public debate. These steps could help balance social stability with innovation, accountability, and social progress. All in all, improving freedom of speech while maintaining social harmony requires a balanced approach, greater openness, stronger legal safeguards, and responsible public participants can contribute to a more informed and engaged society.